the recording, Miss Diana, right? Thank you. Appreciate it. So we want to record these so that, for instance, Jessica, who doesn't happen to joining us today, can see our wonderful presentation and speaker today. Agenda. So quickly, we've already done kind of the networking, joining, a quick icebreaker, and gone through. So we're going to talk about our program, our awesome presentation called "Happiness is the New Currency" by Kim Duncan, who is an enterprise agile coach and a very well-known agile leader in the Tampa community and beyond. And then we'll have a wrap-up where we'll be able to have some Q&A and talk a little bit about some of the upcoming things in our community. So we do promote our meetups in social media. So if you don't want to appear in any of the screen captures, on occasion we'll do screen captures and then share those on media. So you'll want to turn your camera off so that you aren't appearing in that. Okay. So our main event. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about Kim. So happy to introduce her. She is a Florida Clearwater resident. Has her lovely cat, Olivia, aka Livy, love that, and loves to travel, which is that's very handy since she's an enterprise agile coach and leader, so she gets to kind of do that naturally. So that goes hand in hand. So she works to enrich our agile community leaders and organizations. So she has multiple coaching certifications and is certified as a life coach as well. Currently in pursuit of her ICE designation. She's founded Strengthen Incorporated, which is an organizational training, coaching, speaking, and consulting firm. That's amazing. And on top of all of that, if that's not enough, she's also a respected Agile author of 2 books. The first being the Agile Doodle book. It's a gamified approach to teaching Agile terminology, super fun. And Let Me Be, a guide to discovering one's best self. And part of that would would also, I think, would plug into happiness, which happens to be the theme today. So we'll see how that plugs in. And we'll also be providing you with some links to her books and her website, so you can look those up. Okay. Some quick links and likes. So this is where Women in Agile, Tampa Women in Agile is located. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Linked Up, Meetup, Twitter, and of course our email is there. I'm going to count down about 5 seconds so you can get a quick screenshot, but these things will be posted in the chat as well. Feel free to contact us in any manner. We would love for you to connect with us and to share as well. This is where you're going to find out about other speakers and community events and other Agile community events, even outside of Tampa Women Agile, that we would be promoting. So I'm not going to do questions, right? Well, I mean, certainly speak up if you have any particular questions, but we'll or was this supposed to be at the end? Sorry, I skipped. This is the time to move on to. Apologies. I just went ahead. So this was the time that I was supposed to actually switch over to Miss Kim.
It's all good, Stormy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do I go ahead?
I'm going to stop sharing, and I apologize. I was taking you all the way to the end. We were going to do a questions and answer session and a thank you and goodbye.
Good. You are good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right, folks, happy you're here.
Let's go ahead and get started. All right, folks. So thank you so much for coming out today. Definitely, this is such a great opportunity. So I'm going to be talking to you all today about happiness is the new currency. And again, my name is Kim Duncan, Agile leader, definitely founder of Strengthen Inc., which is an advisory business, if you will. So I'm going to, let me see here. Here we are. Okay, good. All right, so our learning objectives today are to define personal happiness at work, learn how to almost immediately increase your happiness for yourself and others in any situation, and to, of course, learn some agile tools to transfer that happiness into your work. And so we're going to be going through the importance of happiness, defining happiness currency. We're going to go through some statistics, some benefits, defining what it means to yourself or to you, measuring it, and then, of course, learning how to share it. We'll have some questions and answers, as Stormy mentioned before, at the end, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, okay? During this, you may have some questions. Again, just go ahead and hold it to the end. I know that we are pressed for time, so I want to try to get through some of this material. So the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of happiness currency, all right? And we'll talk through the definition of happiness currency in a moment, but I want to give you some statistics based on some reports that we had over the last 2 years. One was a 2023 State of Workforce Mental Health report done by a company called Lyra. And the other one was a KPMG report of 400 CEOs of large organizations. And it's really just a CEO overview, okay? So both of them are reputable reports. And here's some of the statistics that we got from there. So 51% of CEOs in America say that they're considering a workforce reduction during the next 6 months. All right. 48% of workers cited financial stress as being one of the top factors impacting their mental health. And of course, when you're thinking about mental health, you know, you get things like depression, anxiety, just a lot of different, just a lot of impact on happiness, on worker happiness or employees' happiness. All right. 58% of employees said that their managers or their supervisors would actually benefit from a mental health training program. And then 1 in 4 employees are considering leaving their jobs. All right, they're thinking of quitting for several reasons. Some is low compensation. A lot of it is a toxic work environment. Some of them feel undervalued. Now, I don't want you all to get or feel daunted by these statistics. I just want to let you know, or you need to be aware, right, that there is an importance for us to be able to have happiness currency or to have happiness at work. And I'll talk more about that as we go forward. Now, what are some definitions of happy or happiness? Okay, happy is the adjective, happiness is the noun, and essentially that's a feeling or showing of pleasure, contentment, having a sense of confidence or satisfaction in a person, an arrangement, a situation, etc. And with that, normally when we move to what currency means, you would automatically think of currency as an exchange of value, right? We give something to get something. But in this case, I want us to think about currency as a state of being current, like existing at this present time, like right now. So putting those two words together, happiness currency is the state of being satisfied now. How do we get more satisfaction right now in our work and even in the situation that we're dealing with, right now? Some additional statistics on happiness: companies with happy employees outperform the competition by 20%. This is real, right? And again, as Agilists, we know this, but we really don't, cite a lot of the statistics behind it. It's important for our employees or for employees to be happy. Why? Because it helps them to be more productive. The next one down, right? 12% more productive. Happy employees help companies. Friendships within organizations. I know that we have gone remote in some cases, but close relationships really boost employee satisfaction by 50%. And again, happy employees produce and definitely helps companies become more profitable. 73% of happy employees says that good team spirit has led to them being happy at work. 38% of unhappy employees says that difficult colleagues are the reasons why they were unhappy at work. 69% of unhappy employees don't feel valued. 57% of happy employees absolutely feel valued. In a 2022 study, it says that just 38% of Americans say that they're satisfied at work. And that's actually a decline from a 2020 study that actually cited 47% of Americans being satisfied at work, okay? So there is a little bit of a decline, but we can definitely get ahead of that in some cases, right? Quick wins, where we are and where we can impact. So the benefits of happiness currency, right? Happy people are generally more productive, creative, resilient, right? If you want to be able to get someone who can, be innovative and who can really just bring their whole selves to work, usually that's a very happy person. Usually that's a person who shows up, wants to be there, wants to add to the particular environment. They also have better relationships, lower stress levels, better physical health. Think about an HR department and how beneficial that would be to an HR department to know that our people, don't have to use a lot of our, insurance as much because they're happier. They have lower stress levels. They come to work. They're in better physical health. We don't have to pay all these liabilities all the time, right? Because we have people who are much healthier. And then we have employee happiness is the leading indicator of profitability and productivity. I've been saying that since I started this. If you want a profitable company, you want a productive company, you got to get yourself some happy employees. All right. Measuring happiness. So when we're thinking about happiness, how do we measure that, right? Stormy had said that something before where, it's tough to measure happiness because it varies from person to person. She's absolutely right. Culture, personality, some of, life circumstances, all of that plays into our individual happiness, right? And so can you imagine how difficult it must be for, again, an HR department to be able to have a blanket program that will try to make everybody happy, right? So the way that you try to do that, or that you get something that really helps to meet at least the masses, is you've got to get some information from them about what makes them happy. Okay, so again, as Agilists, as change agents, if we're impacting HR departments, if we're impacting management, and in any way, shape, or form, we need to be giving them these the possibilities of these resources here. Get some well-being surveys, get some self-report questionnaires out there. Think about some happiness indices. I thought that this was so awesome that some governments are experimenting with, instead of looking at GDP as a way to determine the economic strength of a nation, they're starting to look at the happiness index. Okay, they're actually looking at how happy are the people in that country, because again, happy people gives profitability, productivity. And so if we have people in that country who's willing to work, who's willing to innovate and get new ideas into that country's economic strength will actually grow. Now, here are some examples of what you guys can do if you wanted to do an employee net promoter score. A question like, how likely are you to recommend working at your company to a friend or colleague could be something that you use. And you can have a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being the, no, I would never ever recommend this company, and 10 being yes, absolutely 100%, I will recommend this company. And of course, anything below or 7 and below, we want to go ahead and maybe dig into a little bit more. Anything 8 and above, we still want to see how we can continue to keep that going year over year. Another way to do it is maybe some additional survey examples. Some yes and no questions. Do you feel a part of a healthy work environment? Do you feel that your work environment is safe and motivating, et cetera, et cetera? So you can get a number of different questions to ask employees. You can have it again in a survey with several questions, or just one that really gives you somewhat of an index on the happiness of employees. Again, bringing it back to what we do. We're change agents. We need to be able to help make our management teams aware that this is something that's impactful, to getting things done. So let's think about your happiness, right? We want to talk about our happiness blueprint. Now, as a coach, I've been on a Scrum team. I have actually been a part of I've been a Scrum Master, I've been a team coach, and I've also been an enterprise coach, right? I've actually had all different levels of coaching, and I've met with different people. I have had, just like many of you change agents out there, some very interesting conversations and encounters with managers, team members, et cetera. Sometimes they left me feeling very burdened, very sad, very angry, very whatever. Okay. I've gone through the depression, I've gone through the anxiety, right? And I'm just being honest about that. So I had to find a way to be able to neutralize those feelings in order to allow me to continue to further serve the people who were coming and showing up for me to serve them, right? And so what I do on a daily basis, this is my everyday practice, but this can also be used in any situation. I meditate on a daily basis, and that's not meaning that you have to go onto a mountaintop someplace for 50 days and 50 nights, right? And to call down, trees and whatever. You don't have to do all that. You can literally take 5 minutes a day and set your mind to where you're not thinking about anything. You're just kind of, using your breath, you're breathing, and, you just sit there for 5 minutes just so that you could just get calm. Okay. The second thing I do right after my meditation is to be able to go through some gratefulness exercises. I'm thankful for, the opportunity to serve these people. I'm thankful for what I have here at the house. I'm thankful for my physical condition. I'm thankful. Just try to get into a gratefulness practice, right? What that does for you is that it definitely gets your happiness currency, your state of being happy, really present. Okay. So if you encounter anything like that, try meditation, try gratefulness exercise as a pair. And I guarantee it will help you to start changing your state. The next thing I use is root cause analysis. You guys hear about this, anyone who has been in product or anyone who's been a business analyst, et cetera. Root cause analysis. When we start to have people coming at us with stories upon stories and they're feeling emotionally charged and you're feeling emotionally charged, the best thing to do is try to get to the root cause, right? Try not to let the story fool you into believing that is all it is, right? Get to the root cause of the issue. And one way you could do that is by using the 5 why method, right? You ask 5 questions, right, with the why. And, basically on that 5th why, we're going to use that as our root cause and try to solve for that. With that, pairing with that, you can also use a bunch of powerful questions. So if you don't know which questions to ask, there is a coactive coaching link. I don't have it here, but there's a you can go ahead outside into the internet. It's a coactive coaching link, and it's actually a list of powerful questions you can have in your question bank. You can do that. Just read through the questions, have it in your question banks, and try to use it whenever you encounter these types of situations. The next thing I use is personal Kanban. So what's happened is that, we in today's day and age, this is a lot of work to be done, not only at work, but in our home lives. There's so much stuff to be done. You can actually, in past times when we were talking about like the Dale Carnegies and so on, it was like, hey, write a list down, right? We can do it where we write a list down, but we use it as a Kanban board. If you don't know what a Kanban board is, it's really just 3 columns. It's to make the work visible. 3 columns, you can put it on your wall, you can put it on your desk, you can put it near your computer. 3 columns, one is to do, one is doing, one is done. And so everything in to do, write it down. That's everything that you need to do. Get it out of your head so you can actually see it. You can make it visible. You order and prioritize it based on whatever order you think it needs to be done in. The most immediate should be done, and of course, the highest priority. And then you just start working on them one by one. Try to keep that work in progress low. So if you're working on something, no more than maybe 1 or 2 things at a time, okay? And start seeing some progress. The next thing I work on and that I have in my toolbox to keep my happiness high, to keep my happy currency current, if you will, is my e-commerce model. So I came up with this model that helps me a lot. And, it's something where, let's say, for instance, you're working as a Scrum Master, you're working with teams, and we have those specific events, right, that are part of Scrum, but we also have tons of other meetings outside of those meetings. How do you start to go ahead and reduce the amount of additional meetings that you have? Well, one of the things you could do is you can start to think about which one of these meetings can I eliminate? That's the first place you start, okay? The next place you start is which one of these meetings can I consolidate into maybe the existing recommended Scrum meetings? Okay. The third thing you do is, okay, based on the information that we're trying to get out of these additional meetings, how can we automate that information? So is there a report we can pull, maybe from Jira or some other type of automated tool? Or is there some way that we can automate the information that we need so that we don't necessarily have to meet about it? Now, we're not against communication. I'm absolutely promoting communication, but we can streamline that so we can get the team some time back So then that way they can have more meaningful conversations versus the quantity of conversations, okay? Then whatever's left, we now get to manage that. Whatever additional meetings are left, we get to manage that. Now that we look at the management piece of that, what additional communications do we need? Then and only then do we start to add things. What happens right now in organizations and in teams, we add first, then we try to manage. And by the time we get to the management, then we try to automate. It's backwards, right? We ended up adding so many different things first before we went ahead and eliminated first, okay? So think through this and think about how you can use this. I use this for processes. You know, I have recommended this to be used for technology in terms of, you know, the first thing we want to do is start to try to eliminate systems that we don't use, right? Then consolidate the ones that we have, and then where can we automate some of those systems? Then manage what we have left. Then and only then do we start looking at adding, okay? The last thing I would say about this is, even in your everyday life, if you're thinking about getting to work by a certain time and you make breakfast, your breakfast is a process, right? So is there a way for you to eliminate having to do, let's say, your kids' breakfast? Can you have them make it instead of you making it? That shaves off some time off of that process, right? What about consolidating breakfast in terms of, okay, instead of you making pancakes, eggs, and you know, and bacon, maybe you go ahead and have a what you call it, a pancake wrap or something, or maybe some type of other breakfast burrito that you can just kind of microwave and go with it, right? It's finding ways to be able to get to a place where you're manageable, where you have things that are manageable. Then and only then do you add additional things to your plate. It really helps to keep, again, your happiness high, because you don't have to think about all of those additional things, right? You only have something small. In our world, in our agile world, we talk about small batch sizes. Well, this is getting us to a place where we have manageable batch sizes, manageable things in our lives, that we are now not focusing on the big picture, the big elephant. We're just focusing on the little bites that we're taking. So it gives us more room to be happy. It gives us more room, to connect with other people, again, to keep our happiness currency current. All right. The next thing I do is I love puzzles. I absolutely love puzzles. And I thought about it because I love word search puzzles so much. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be great to be able to have a word search puzzle book that actually helps to teach agile terminology? So that's exactly what I did. So normally what I would do is I would just go ahead and get a basic puzzle book. And whenever I'm feeling stressed and so on, I'll just go do some puzzles. But I actually created a book that allows us to be able to not only just play, but play with work, right? So definitely, again, shameless plug, I have a book. Definitely, if you want to go ahead and get it, it allows you to doodle. It gives you definitions in the back. It gives you a place to have notes. It's just a really good tool to be able to help, especially newbies to Agile, learn the Agile process or learn Agile terminology. More than the process, it's just the terminology, okay? Last but not least, we are talking about finding our happy place. So this is where you guys kind of come in. You know, we want to find what your personal happiness blueprint is at work. And so for me, when I think about 5 things that I want to work on to be able to keep my happiness high, I think about taking a walk. You know, I want to do it like just about every hour. And remember, we talked about measuring it, right? So doing things are good, but measuring whether or not you're doing it and you're getting the results that you want is very important, right? Again, we do this on a regular basis as Agilists, as change agents, but we don't always do it. And when we're thinking about our happiness, okay? When we're thinking about what makes us feel good, it's important to feel good. Again, it makes you more productive. It helps the company become more profitable. You show up as a better self, right? And so that's where innovation comes from, right? Is when you're showing up as your better self. So taking a walk maybe every hour, and I'll measure it by the number of times I walked, or meditating once a day. I'll ask myself at the end of the day, did I actually do that meditative exercise? Okay. So we're going to go into an exercise now. Before we do that, apologies. Before we do that, once you have gotten to a place where you are consistently happy, or at least know how to get there quickly, you can help others to find their happy place. And that's important, right? Again, as change agents, we show up, we coach, we suggest, we ask questions, we challenge, and all that good stuff. And we need to be able to do that for the purpose of happiness as well as getting work done. Okay. So it's not just about getting work done. It's really showing up, helping the people understand that they are important. Again, Agile is about not just getting work done, but it's about the people. And this really helps us. We need to be focused in on that. We get to a place, certainly as Agilists, in terms of trying to help solve the company's problems. And sometimes we get sidetracked and forget about the people, and we can't. The people are important. The people make it work. Okay. So number one is the activities and exercises I talked about before. You could recommend some of those to them, especially the book, right? The individuals can share their happiness with others by spreading positivity, kindness, and love. Wherever you can spread positivity, spread it. Wherever you can spread kindness, spread it. Love, spread it. Okay. Surround yourself with people and experiences that bring happiness. So encourage them to surround themselves with happier people. Share happiness by spending time, encourage them to spend time with their loved ones, pursue hobbies, and you do this as well. Engage in activities that promote personal growth and development. One of the things that I absolutely love is I just love just creative stuff. But because I've gotten so, focused on work and so on, I really hadn't had a lot of time to be able to do the things I enjoyed. So what I did was I went ahead and I took a class on makeup, and I started doing makeup. I like makeup, okay? I like colors, and I like painting people's faces, and I like changing the shape and stuff. I love that stuff. So I went ahead and I did it. What do you have that you want to do? And so you're going to be asking them that and helping them to find that as well. Also, I love learning. So I just take classes for the heck of taking classes. If it interests me, I'm going to take a class on it because I like learning. It's okay to do that. It helps you with being feeling more fulfilled and enabling you to show up as your full self. And then, of course, challenging them to think about their happiness. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a quick exercise. Let's see, where are we with time? Are we over? Oh no, we're good. We're good for time, right, guys? I think
20 minutes. We're good.
All
Yeah.
right.
We just need a few minutes at the end. You're good.
Well, okay, good. All right, so that aided in my happiness. So let's stop this for a second.
Because I just smiled.
You did great. You can breathe for just a moment too.
Just slow down. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and switch screens really quickly, and I'll give you guys a link here in a moment to go onto my mural board, so you can join me there. Bear with me for a moment. We're gonna share this, and let's see here. Oh, just waiting for my connection to come back. All right, and we're gonna hit share. Bear with me for a moment, guys. Okay, visitors. Copy link. All right. So this board is called Mural. So just give me once you get in there, I'm going to walk through how to use this board just in a few minutes. So then that way you all have, okay. So go ahead and jump onto this board for me, and let's stay on the,
Can you post that in chat, or we can grab the link and post that in chat?
Okay. I went ahead and posted
It's
it to
already in the chat.
All right, so
Okay. For some reason, I don't see it. Maybe that's just my screen, but okay, cool.
Let me do that one more time. All right. Okay, so if you would, I'm going to just go over how to use the mural. So I apologize, guys, if you can just give me one more second back at the Zoom screen. Let me just go ahead and go over how to use mural real quick, so that you're not lost. So number one is there is a zoom function in here. Sometimes the screen may show up really small. So you can go to the bottom right of your screen, or a mouse scroller, and you can go ahead and use that to zoom in or out. To add stickies, which is definitely something that we'll be using in here, you want to double click anywhere on the screen and you can add a sticky. To add more, just use the tab key. If you wanted to add text, just select the sticky and begin typing. To delete, you can go ahead and right click and select the delete key on any sticky. To move a sticky, select it and hold down the left mouse key, and then you can drag it wherever you want to go. So follow me, you just have to find my avatar and then select follow, and then it will allow you to go wherever I go on the screen. If you want to undo an action, just go ahead up to the top and you can use that arrow with the circle that goes backwards to undo what you just did. Also, the outline box, which is going to be really important for you guys, it's the top right. It used to have dots and lines. Now it just has 2 rectangles in it. That is a good, to the top right of your screen. Once you hit that, then you can go ahead into any of the boxes there. It's for this exercise we are about to do. Okay. Now you guys can please, if you don't mind, go over to the mural board, and I'll explain to you what to do. So if you would go over to the mural board, and there is probably about 96 boxes here with participant numbers and names. Each one of these boxes, I would like you guys to select the box, and where it says name, put your name in that box. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Wherever you are, just go ahead and put your name in that box where it says name. So select the box, and then you could just start typing. And if a name is already in there, guys, that means it's taken. So just go to another box. And on the outline, you can go ahead and select any one of those areas, and it'll take you to a box on the screen. All right. Just give you another moment or two to do that. So what we're going to do in this exercise today, folks, is we are going to be looking at building your happiness blueprint. We're going to take a couple of items that you want to work on, right, for your happiness. And we're going to explore that a little bit more today. All right. I'll give everyone just another minute or so. She set the timer. After we have done that, I will give you some additional instructions. All right. Make sure everyone has a little bit of a. Okay. Dr. Jade, so if you go on to, do you have the link? Let me send you the link again. If you go into the link, there's a mural board. And the mural board, we have, okay. So if you go ahead and just follow my, my avatar, all right. Basically.
If anyone, sorry, if anyone has an issue with mural, just let us know. We can help add your content to the board for you in chat. So if you want to post it to chat, we can help you if you're having any issues getting into mural.
Thank you, Diana. Okay, great. So all right. So what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to take 2 minutes, and we're going to fill out the 5 things that can make you happier at work. All right. So the first blue area in these boxes, I'd like you to take those purple sticky notes and put on there the 5 things that make you happier, that can make you happier at work. Think through that and put those there. Once you're done with that, go over to the next box and think about what you can do right now to incorporate more of those things into your daily work life. Once you're done with that, I'd like you to spend some time doing, how do I measure those things? Okay. If you could take care of those 3 columns for me, I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes, if you will. If you just get through 2 things, that's fine. I'm okay with that. All right. I'm going to give you 3 minutes.
Hey, Kim.
Yep.
So I found myself initially wanting to put things like being understood or things that were out of my control. Are these things that should be in our control?
These are definitely things that should be in our control, for sure. Mac, thank you for highlighting that. So what we're trying to do again is, this is our blueprint. So this is what we can actually do on our own to be able to enhance our happiness at work. Okay. Any other questions before we begin? Okay. Setting the timer. We have 3 minutes, so feel free in your boxes where you are. We want you to just think about 5 things that can make you happier at work. Once you've highlighted those things, think about what you can do to incorporate more of those into your daily work life. Okay. And then once you're done with that, we want to understand how you are going to measure those things. Remember, I had provided the example before of me wanting to walk more, right? So I was able to walk. And then in terms of incorporating it, I wanted to walk every hour. And then how am I going to measure that? I'm going to say how many times I walked per day. Okay. Have just about another minute or so left. Okay, I'm going to just give 1 more minute. I'm going to actually increase it by just 1 more minute. And what I'll ask you to do is if you haven't gotten all your 5 done, that's okay. Maybe just use one, and then just think about a way that you can incorporate that into your daily life. And then think about how you can measure that thing. Yeah, what we want to have happen is that when we leave this session today, we just want to make sure that you have something that you can actively work on to increase your happiness currency. We want to make sure that you have something that you can measure as well. All right, so all right, let's pause here. Okay, so now next to this, folks, we have the opportunity to now think about who can we help to find their happiness, right? Who would we like to help to find their happiness? Now, you don't have to necessarily put names. You can if you'd like, because it's your own personal blueprint. You can put a title. Let's say, for instance, it's the HR manager, right? If you don't feel comfortable putting David Banner, then that's fine. We can go ahead and just put HR manager, all right? So maybe list 2 or 3 folks that you would like to help who can immediately be helped by happiness currency, by finding their happiness at work. And I would like you to look at the pink area on your board and actually note their name there. Now, next to it, I'd like you to go ahead and think about how you can help them. So I want to know who you want to help. And then I'd like to know how you can help them, and help them in terms of helping them to find their happiness. Like, so is it asking additional questions? Is it maybe encouraging them to do something that they truly enjoy? Is it where, you know, they need to understand a process more? Whatever it is, I'd like you to go ahead and talk through how you can actually help them. All right, I'm going to give you guys, again, 3 minutes for this exercise. And then we will debrief and wrap it up. Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, we have another about another minute and 30 seconds left, so definitely good information here. Yeah, so to wrap up, another minute or and 25 seconds or so. So 1 minute left. Okay, so we have just a few seconds left here, folks. So what I'd like you to do is, for the 5 things that make you happier at work, I'd like you to right click on one item, any one of your items that you really want to be able to share with the group. And I'd like you to go ahead and move it to our group exercise area. So duplicate it by clicking on that sticky note and right clicking and hitting duplicate. And then move it to our group exercise area on the outline under the what are 5 things that can make work happier for me, or make me happier at work. Okay. Right. Just have 1 or 2. Okay. Give you a minute to do that. Anybody else just want to, if you want to just add one item, we're fine with that. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to open it up to the group and ask you, which one of these did you put out there, and kind of what would be the impact of you actually being able to incorporate this into your everyday work life. So anyone can start. Just kind of give me which one did you put up there, which one of these are yours, and what would be the benefit of being able to incorporate this into your daily work life.
Okay, I can start, I guess. So I put in there a sticky that's so small I can't even read it, but it says something like gain greater confidence from coaches that I'm coaching. Okay. And I didn't get to place a sticky in each of the 5 areas, but that is something that would make me happier at work. And let's see, where do I go from here?
What would it do for you? What would it do for you? Like if they were able to gain greater confidence from coaches, yes, you will be happy, but what are some other side effects that you would get from that?
Certainly a lot of satisfaction from that, because that's what I'm setting out to do to begin with. It would also reduce a lot of repetition, so that frees up more of my time, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And being able to see results, I mean, that's key, right? Because that motivates me if I see that I'm making a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's have one more person share theirs.
Yeah, I put in there, keep a gratitude journal for work. I've been kind of focusing on the negative aspects of my job. So I think that this will help me change my attitude and find what joy my position brings me.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vicky. So although we can't really go through all of these folks, understand that like each one of us has something that we can bring to the table. Each one of us has something that we can be, grateful for, or that we can work on to be able to increase our happiness. My charge to you today is find what it is that makes you really happy at work. If and put a plan in place, put a blueprint in place, right? Give it some timetables if you need to, but also measure it. So not only do you want to know what it is, understand how you're going to incorporate it, but also measure it, okay? And help somebody else do the same. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the last PowerPoint that I have up for you guys. Let me just put this up there. So I'm going to stop for a second and ask if anyone has any questions about anything I went through, any of the statistics, any of the, the takeaways from this. Just want to stop and ask if anyone has any questions.
Questions. I just think that I just want to give like my feelings that it really gets us to think about, why are we showing up every day, right? Like what makes us tick? What makes us feel like, to me, I don't want it to feel like work. I want it to feel like a passion, like I'm driven. And so for me, that's the question I'm actually asking myself from the things you asked us to think about. So to me, that was really insightful. And it's a hard question. It's tough and it's insightful, and I have to think about it. But at the end of the day, it's really about what makes me want to do this, what makes me feel like this is what I want to do and my purpose. And I thank you for that, because it's something I need right now. So
because on the surface it feels like we just have to get in and we have to help to solve the problems. We have to go ahead and make sure that the work gets done and so on. But there's the us aspect of it, that again, what is it, how is this worthwhile to me, and what can I do? Not necessarily looking at the things that absolutely do need to be done, but how do I get to show up with my full self? What do I need to do that? And so we don't think about that a lot. So great insight. Thank you so much for sharing, Diana. Anyone else? Thoughts, questions? Okay. Certainly, if you have any, feel free to reach out afterwards, and definitely connect with me, ask any questions that you want to. So for my last slide, I just want to leave you guys with this. If you will, prioritize your own happiness. Okay, that's important. It stems from you, right? If you want an organization that has happiness, it begins with you. Okay, and help other people find their happiness, right? Prioritize that as well. Money and things are very important, but it's ultimately happiness that leads to a fulfilling and meaningful life, and of course, work life. All right. And the ultimate currency is happiness. All right. Again, my name is Kim Duncan, guys, Agile leader, founder of Strengthen. I thank you so much for your attention and your participation today. And I turn it back over to Stormy or Vicky.
Hey, if you don't mind, Kim, I just want to express appreciation for what you gave us today.
Thank you. And thank you.
You were awesome.
And thank you.
And what you gave us was awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So
Welcome.
so if you want to stop sharing, actually I can't share while you are sharing. And then I will, thank you, share my screen here. And there you go. So once again, I'll just share with you the things that I shared earlier and I was really supposed to share later. So, so our links and likes for those of you who might want to follow us in the Women in Agile community, see what's coming up, and just stay informed. Not only for Women in Agile, but for those other Agile community events that we coordinate and collaborate with, so that you can stay informed and join us on future events. There we go.
Yeah, we
So at
are
this point,
so excited.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're so excited to bring everyone together, and our first in-person event was amazing. We encourage that for next month, and please support Clearly Agile's Lean Beer. It's another way that we are growing our Agile community, supporting it. We're supporting each other. So please join. I believe that's next week at the pub at International Mall. I'm going to be there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great conversation, a lean coffee style. We call it lean beer because, we can have a cocktail and have fun. And I don't think Stormy and I left till 11 o'clock that night. We had a good time. So
yeah, thank you for
so
that
yeah,
plug. I appreciate it. We've closed down
Yeah.
the joint a few times too. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
generally,
it's
it's not uncommon. So yeah, third Thursday of every month, with a few exceptions, but you'll want to subscribe as well. We put a link in the chat as well. I don't know, and Vicky was probably throwing another one up there, so that you can also get on the Lean Beer information channels to see what's going on. But third Thursday of every month at the pub at International Mall. And it's really low key, but we always have a lot of fantastic and very vivacious conversation, a lot of opportunity to learn, sometimes debate, and it's always an enjoyable time. And I have met wonderful people who have become close and personal friends. And it's just a great experience to just come and be a little more open and making it more of a social event while learning and networking all at the same time. So encourage you to come and join us. And then also, as you subscribe to these, as Diana was saying, we will be posting the date, which should actually be the Thursday following next month's Lean Beer, but there's we'll just need to check on the dates in regards to any kind of holidays and such. But we'll be posting those out, the date and the location, which may be the same place, not quite sure yet. So just keep an eye out for that. We're looking forward to seeing everybody again in person, where we just had the most fantastic time. So invite your friends, those that are in Agile or want to learn about it, or just want to come and learn a little bit and socialize with some fantastic men and women in the Agile community. And just to clarify too, the Women in Agile Tampa meetups are not obviously just for women. We have a few men here today, so any and all are welcome. And so please, share that, and we're happy to have anyone jump in and have some fun with us. So do we have, go ahead.
Yeah, where can I get those books which Kim was mentioning about that puzzle book?
Vicky, do you want to throw those links in again in the chat? That would be great.
Sure, I'll find it
Thank
again.
you. Yep.
Also,
Thank
too,
I can also-
you can save the chat to have all the links at your
Mhm.
convenience a little later too.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
had
reply to
quite the
Meetup.
lively chat. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll reply to Meetup with any of the contact information, any of the links that were shared. I will reply to that to any of those who showed up tonight in Meetup. So that will be an email that you get through Meetup that will just follow up. So you'll have that as well.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
So as we have, actually we're over time now by 5 minutes, but I did want to give a chance for any specific questions of our speaker who, has brought her entourage and the people that are her adoring fans, or any specific questions of the meetup organizers and the group. Yes, I know we're a little over, but I want to give you some time if you want to ask any questions of us or of Kim. So please speak up and just let us know if you have any questions. I'll ask a quick question of you, just curious, Kim. How did this, and you could do this to super Cliff Notes version, but how did you get into the Agile space and speaking and writing books? What's your origin story, for lack of a better term?
So as I mentioned before, like I had gotten into a place where I was on a Scrum team as a QA. I moved into QA. I became a QA lead, then a QA manager, and then I became kind of like a part QA, part business analyst. Then I got into my Scrum Mastery role. And then from that, I realized again, kind of going through Scrum Master, I thought, well, I wasn't that happy as a Scrum Master. I was like, all right, let me just push to become an Agile coach. Got into Agile coaching and wasn't that happy as an Agile coach. Got into enterprise coaching, wasn't that happy. And then I realized it's like, it doesn't matter where I go. If I'm not happy, I'm not happy. So I had to find my level of happiness, because again, the more I guess I would increase in my career, I started realizing that I deal with more people. So I have to get to a place where I can ground myself. And again, in one way, it's like, yeah, let's just go ahead and meditate. But no, sometimes it takes a little bit more than meditation, right, to get you into a good spot. So for me, again, I had gone through some anxiety, depression, things of that nature. I had to find a way to get out. I had to find a way to get to that happiness. And now I'm out of that. I actually have a way to do that. I want to teach other people to do that too.
Amazing.
So pave your own path. I love that story. And I'll say too that, no job is perfect. You're always going to go in and go, something about this job is not making me happy. And it sounds to me like, you know what, we can make our own happiness and understand that no job that we go to is going to be perfect. And so let's figure out a way, and there are opportunities to figure out ways to bring happiness and joy into our roles, whatever it may be, and maybe bring other people in along with it to spread that throughout that organization. So very cool.
Yeah, and again, last thing on this, profitability and productivity. We want to know about profitability and productivity. You want to aid in that with the organization you're working with, you got to get happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so important. If we don't exude it, our teams won't exude it. So I thank you so much for bringing that point, because we have to model that, right? We have to model that, how we show up, how we choose to show up every day. So thanks for that reminder. It's hard to do sometimes, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
any last comments? Thank you for spending an extra couple of minutes with us. But like I say, if there's any last comments or questions, we'll just grab those quick. And if not, we'll say adieu.
Yeah. Love to see you soon.
Once, going twice. All right, I'm going to
Thank you,
officially move to
Kim.
my last slide because woohoo!
Yep.
Thank you all. It's been a
Thanks all.
pleasure. Can't wait to see you at our next event. Please look at Lean Beer. We always have so much fun. I may be able to see you guys next Thursday. I look forward to seeing any of you there who happen to be joining us. So have a lovely meeting or a lovely night, and thank you again for joining us. Spread the word,
Bye.
and we're looking forward to seeing you again.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye all.
everybody.